Hello, everyone, and welcome to Marbella's Voice, where we try to help people with issues that are affecting all of us. Today, I'm going to actually talk about the unemployment. This is something that is affecting a lot of people. There's a lot of information that you guys need to know, so stay tuned so that way I can give you all the updates. When the whole thing that happened with the pandemic, a lot of people had issues log into the system. So what happened was that a lot of people weren't able to actually file a claim. So probably like a month after, they did a second website that made it a little bit easier for you to be able to put that information. A lot of people did it that way. People that had their pins locked and other issues that they couldn't get through. So what happened is that they told you to wait because that information is going to be transferred to the system. All the claims, which they had a lot of them. So a lot of people had to wait and wait and wait. A lot of Floridians, through the Florida reemployment website, they were deemed ineligible, which made a lot of people very sad and very irate and everything that went with it, because people were really struggling. People help that we depended on to be able to get some kind of assistance after the country was actually shut down. So what happened was that people waited and waited and waited. So now it's actually almost June. So what happened is that people are now receiving checks. But guess what? A lot of people that receive checks are working right now because they couldn't wait no more, and they had to do whatever they had to do to be able to get a job, even though it wasn't what they actually did before. They got whatever they could because they needed to put food on their table, pay their mortgages, their rent. The thing is that there is great news. Even though you do have to return the money if you are working, guess what? I'm going to show you the website where you have to go and put that money back to the unemployment assistant office. And I'm also going to show you the website where you have to go to be able to claim all the weeks retro from the time that you did not work. Now, just be aware that for retro pay for the pandemic, it's going to be March 29th and forward. It cannot be before that. But if, let's say, for instance, if you lost your job, let's say March the 1st, or March the 9th, you could do it from March the 9th for your regular state unemployment. So that's the great thing about it. So I am going to show you where you have to go to be able to.
This first segment is going to be for overpayments. So we're going to go to floridajobs.org, go to individuals. Then in the drop down menu, we're going to look for fraud and overpayment. Okay, make sure to read this page very thoroughly because this is about reemployment assistance fraud and you do not want to get in trouble. Okay. This is where we'll go for overpayment to be able to pay. Okay, here it tells you if you're in collection, do not use this site. You could mail in a check, or you could also pay with a credit card. So see which option is better for you. For today, we're gonna use the credit card option. Let's press here. Okay. So here on the payment screen, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put the social security number. Just remember that this information that I'm putting in is for instructional purposes only, and also check with your state because it is for Florida. Okay. Put your your date of birth. Your first name. last name, your street address, the city, state, well actually zip code first. Let's do the state. Okay, email address, phone number, and then the amount of the overpayment. So here in Florida, it's $275 for the state and $600 for the federal level. So that's going to be a total of $875. So you're going to put the final, which is $875, and that's if it's 1 week. See how many weeks are owed to them of overpayment, and then you do it that way. Okay, continue. Make sure that the information that you provided is all correct before you proceed. So this is where you're going to actually verify your billing information for your credit card and make that payment. Make sure to keep a receipt for your payments, and that's it. Now let's get to your RetroPay. Make sure you read this all thoroughly to make sure there's no miscommunication with what you are signing. This is where you're going to put the retro filing effective date. And if your claim is backdated and eligible, the maximum duration of the reemployment is going to be 12 weeks. Remember, one application per Social Security number. And if you do submit multiple applications, that could cause delays. This is for Floridians that have difficulty applying due to no fault of their own. Before changing, consider that the PUA compensation is an additional payment per week beginning on March 29, 2020. And prior to that, you won't be able to get it. Now, also, there is no waiting week if you file March 29th and forward, but if it's before March 29th, then the waiting week does apply. Make sure you read all of this. Okay, so let's start with the first name. Middle, last name. Your email address, very important. Your social security number. And put your social security number again. Here's where you put your claim and ID. You could go to the Connect UI and you could see that there and just input it there. Where you're gonna put the first date that you attempted to submit your reemployment assistance application. And remember that this cannot be earlier than March the 9th, which is the effective date for the executive order 20-52. Here's where you would input the reason why you weren't able to submit your reemployment assistance application on the date. So if you had technical issues or whatever the reason from the drop-down menu, just input it right there. In this question, they're asking you, were you able and available to work on or after the date you attempted to submit your reemployment assistance application? You would put yes or no. So here they're asking you, did you receive any wages for work performed on or after the date you attempted to submit your reemployment assistance application? So yes or no. Did you receive more than $275 of wages per week on or after the date you attempted to submit your reemployment assistance application? Here you will put yes or no. Would you like to receive a copy of your responses to the email address you provided above? So definitely here you would put yes, because you want to get that email with all the info. Make sure that you read and acknowledge and understand. Check mark. Make sure you read the fraud statement and acknowledge that. So once you read that, all you have to do is just actually submit that. So that way one of the unemployment specialists will be able to review your information and they will contact you. So I hope that this actually has helped a lot of people that are in need, especially here in the state of Florida or in any other state, as long as you are abiding by the state laws. Thank you so much. It has been a pleasure to be able to help a lot of people. I will be putting a link down below.
Thank you all for joining Marabella's Voice, and I hope that this information was educational and it helped a lot of you guys that are facing unemployment. So if you have any questions or concerns, please comment down below and I will try to answer the questions as soon as I can. Thank you, and please subscribe to my channel, because that way I could keep on giving you great content that is informational and educational. Take care, guys.